When Emma first mentioned a man named Liam, I barely took notice. She said he was a yoga instructor at her new studio, someone calm and spiritual who helped her find balance. I was glad she'd found something that eased her stress. Lately, she'd been overwhelmed, and if yoga brought her peace, who was I to complain? But peace can be deceptive. Sometimes it hides a storm that's coming. At first, it was subtle. She began dressing up more for her classes, new outfits, makeup, perfume she never wore around me. When I teased her about it, she'd laugh and say it was part of the yoga vibe. Then came the late nights. "He's helping me improve my poses," she'd say, her tone too casual to be convincing. I noticed the distance, but told myself to trust her. After all, that's what love is built on. Or so I thought. One evening, I got home earlier than usual. Her car wasn't there, even though her class had ended an hour ago. When she finally came in, her cheeks were flushed, hair slightly damp, eyes glowing. "You're home early," she said with a surprised smile. "How was class?" I asked. She didn't even think before answering. "Liam says I'm finally learning to let go. He understands me better than you ever did." Her words hit me like a punch to the chest. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just stared at her, feeling something inside me crumble. "If he understands you that well," I said quietly, "then I hope he also teaches you to live with the choices you make." That night, she slept on the couch. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering how long she'd been slipping away from me. In the following days, she grew colder, carefully distant, as if testing how far she could go before I broke. When she mentioned she was helping Liam promote his studio, saying he deserved more attention, I felt something inside me snap, but I stayed silent. A few days later, I stopped by a cafe near my office, and there they were, Emma and Liam, tucked into a corner, laughing like the rest of the world had vanished. She leaned in, touching his arm, eyes glowing in a way I hadn't seen in months. I didn't confront them. I just watched. Quiet betrayal hurts more than loud ones. It eats at you slowly. That evening when she came home, her tone was oddly soft, almost cautious. Over dinner, she said, "Liam's been going through a lot. His ex left him with nothing. He's not like most men. He actually listens." I smiled faintly. "Be careful, Emma. People who need rescuing often end up sinking the ones who try to save them." She rolled her eyes. "You don't get it. He's real. He understands me." Then her phone buzzed. I caught a glimpse of the message before she tilted the screen away. "Can't stop thinking about you during class today." The air between us went still. She didn't meet my eyes. The next morning, she left early. I followed her. She drove to the yoga studio but didn't go inside. She parked behind it. Minutes later, Liam's car arrived. They sat in his car for nearly half an hour, talking, laughing, touching. I watched from a distance, not angry anymore, just hollow. 2 days later, I went to see him. I waited until his class was over, then approached him as the last student left. His confident grin faded when he saw me. "Be careful," I told him quietly. "My wife has a habit of burning down the people she clings to." He smirked. "You sound jealous. She deserves better energy than yours." "Maybe," I said, "but when she's done with you, you'll understand what that energy costs." I walked away without another word. It didn't take long for my warning to come true. 3 days later, Emma came home pale, trembling. She sat on the couch, silent for a long time before whispering, "He got fired." "Liam?" I asked. She nodded. Someone reported him. They said he crossed the line with a client. There were screenshots, messages. Her voice broke. She didn't have to tell me who the client was. The texts she thought were private had made their way to the studio owner. Too personal. Too revealing. "He says it's a setup," she muttered, tears welling. "That people were jealous." I sighed. Or maybe he just forgot that choices have consequences. That night, I heard her crying in the shower. For the first time, I felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness, just peace. I'd spent months trying to reach her, begging for scraps of the love she used to give freely. Now I realized I didn't need to chase what was already gone. In the days that followed, she tried to act like nothing had happened. She cooked my favorite meals, made small talk, even suggested we start fresh. But her voice sounded rehearsed, and her smiles didn't reach her eyes. She wasn't seeking forgiveness. She was running from guilt. One evening, she stood by the window, her voice trembling. I just wanted to be understood. I looked at her and replied, "No, Emma, you want to be adored. There's a difference." She didn't argue this time. She just turned away, her reflection fading against the glass. A month later, I moved out. No shouting, no drama, just silence. She stayed in that house, alone with her choices. I've heard she still visits the studio sometimes, though Liam's long gone. Maybe she's still searching for someone to understand her. But people like Emma don't really want understanding. They crave admiration until it fades. And when it does, they start looking for someone new to blame.